Yo, what is going on, guys? TymeStopper here, coming back at you another Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, in this video, we are going to be talking about the Python fusion with the summon rush requirements and how soft the Raid community has become and how much they whine about every little thing. Yes, it is going to be a hot take, so let's jump into the video. Okay, guys, so obviously, trigger warning. Those easily offended, you probably should click off now because you're too soft to watch the truth. The reality is that if I watch one more video about some content creator complaining about the requirements for this fusion, I'm going to lose my mind. This is ridiculous. There is no reason for people to be complaining about this summon rush. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, we have the fusion going on right now for Python, one of the best fusions that has ever come to the game. Ever, right? So generally, you would expect the requirements to be higher than any other fusion that we've had. I mean, if you go to the store to buy a car, right? If you go to a car lot to buy a car and you want a cheap car or you want an expensive car, you expect to pay more for the expensive car. You can't expect the car lot to give you a handout because you want the expensive car but don't want to pay for it. That's just not gonna happen. And it's not gonna happen in Raid. And the sooner people get on board with that, the better off they're going to be. Do you have to like it? No. But the constant whining, it's just too much. If we go over here and we look right now at the summon rush, right? And we look at how many points are required for this Python fusion. You get the first set of fragments at 2150. You get the second set of fragments at 4925. Now, what's the big deal? Everybody is freaking out because they thought they were going to be at 3500 and Plarium's doing everybody dirty by putting them at 4925. No, you did yourself dirty by needing to get to 4925 to begin with. That's the reality. If you go and you look at this fragment fusion, there are 115 fragments that you can get without having to win an event. That means that you only should have to get to the first thing on here if you do all the events. Does that mean you can't miss anything? Yes. Is that fair? 100%. It's one of the best champions in the game at this point, so it's going to be harder to get. It's not going to be easy. Not everything is going to be a handout, but for some reason, people seem to think that they should just hand them the best champions in the game because, well, they're entitled to it. I don't know where this level of entitlement has come from, but it is beyond out of control at this point. The truth is that 5,000 points in a summon rush is not even remotely unheard of. How do I know that? I have my tracker, which I will link to in the show notes down below. If we go back to the Nishak fusion, guess what? Oh, wait, look at that. 4925 to get to the second tier for something you didn't need, right? Because you're going to argue that you didn't need to get Indalia. Right, you don't need to get the second set of fragments on this to complete it. That's my point. If you go back to the Nishak fusion and you did every single thing except for that Indalia, you would still be able to fuse Nishak, right? The same exact thing is happening here. You would still be able to go back, you'd still be able to fuse it if you did every single event. It is literally no different. As a matter of fact, this is easier because in the long run, if you look at where these artifact enhancement events are, they're higher. Like everything is higher on this. Plus, this is a traditional fusion, meaning you have to level champs, you have to invest potions and everything else. Is he a great champion? Yes. But that's not even remotely relevant here. Let's go look at some other fusions. We can go back to Marinax. Not even a good fusion. Terrible fusion by most people's standards. I don't know anyone using this champion. What is that? Oh, look, it's 4925 to get something you don't need if you do every other event. Artifact enhancements are all at 4,000. No big deal. No one seemed to even remotely say anything. But suddenly, because this fusion is something everybody wants to complain. Oh, it's so hard. Guys, come on. Let's be realistic for a minute. They've given you one of the best fusions out there. They've made it attainable. It's not unattainable. All the rest of the stuff was pretty easy to do. And let's say worst case scenario, you're like, well, I didn't really want to have to deal with it. The best part is, even if you have to pull, they're giving you great champions on this 10X to pull for. You've got Duchess in there. You've got Brogni. You've got Elva. You've got freaking man-eaters in the 10X. So they're giving you something that's attainable on one of the best champions that has ever been a fusion, and they're giving you a good reason to pull your shards. I don't understand why it's such a big deal, other than the fact that people just want something for free. Unfortunately, they are in business to make money. If you don't like it, tough. Every company is. I see people complain all the time about how, well, they're slowly increasing the amount of points that you need and everything else. Let me ask you a question. When you go to work every day, would you like a raise? And if you could just pay yourself more, would you? Most people are going to say yes. They have the ability to pay themselves more. Why would they not? They're in business to make money. Like it or hate it, they have shareholders that they answer to. They have to deliver results. This is how they deliver them. If you don't like it, just don't play the game. It's that easy. That's the type of game it is. It's not going to get easier down the road either, by the way. Newsflash, it is going to get harder. They will keep increasing. It's not going to go down. So if you can't handle it now, jump ship. Play another game. No one cares. But this is out of control. Stop complaining in the comments in Discord. Stop complaining in the comments of people's videos. Yes, I realize this has become a rant video for me, but at the end of the day, I'm ranting against the complainers because I'm tired of hearing about it. It's ridiculous, guys. Yes, this is an expensive game to play. We all knew that a long time ago. You knew that from the very beginning. You knew it when you first started pulling shards. You've known it all along. It's not going to get cheaper. It's only going to get more expensive to play. Is it fair to free to play? Probably not. Do they care? Maybe a little bit, but not a ton. Because the reality is that they understand the business model that they're in. They understand that they need to go out. They need to acquire customers. They need each customer to spend X amount of dollars, whatever that is, $15, $20, maybe 50. I don't know what their number is. And if that customer leaves, they don't care because they know that they can just go out and acquire another one. That's the way they do things. That's not going to change. There's going to be whales out there that are going to spend money. There's going to be people that are going to be free to play. But to think that they owe you something is absolutely ridiculous. They don't owe you anything. They don't owe you a low number on any of these fusions. They don't even owe you a fusion. They could just not put them in there. This is one of the best champions that hit the game, and people are complaining because they didn't make it as easy as possible. Like, whatever happened to playing a game because it was hard to play? Like, when did we go to this whole, like, everything should just be easy mentality for games? Like, I remember being a kid sitting in front of a Nintendo playing, like, different games, and the challenge was in beating that game. Granted, that's not quite the way games work nowadays. You don't beat them. They just seem to go on forever. But it was a challenge, and that's why you played it. Not because they just gave you everything constantly, but for some reason, it seems like everybody believes that everything in this game should just be a handout. That's just not the case. Do they take away rewards? 100%. Do they make it harder? Yes. Should they? 100%. Like, it's not going to get easier. Like I said earlier, if you want it to get easier, if you're under this illusion that in the next 6 months they're going to make it easier for you, you're wrong. And if you're that unhappy about it, find something else to play. That's just the way it is. But the complaining all the time isn't going to make a difference. They're not going to change it. They have a business model that works. You guys have seen the articles. You've seen the stuff. They made like $1 billion in 4 years. They know that they're doing the right thing. Yes, they know they're going to have haters. Everyone does. Yes, they know that there's going to be people that spend the money. But at the end of the day, they're uber profitable. And that doesn't mean because they're uber profitable that they should be giving away stuff for free. That's not the way it works. Companies that have a good business model that know that they can make a bunch of money go out and make more money. Walmart doesn't lower prices on their shelves because they want to do you a favor. If you think that, you're an idiot. The reality is they lower prices on the shelves to get more people to buy more of that stuff because they know in the long run that by selling more, they'll make more. They found that sweet spot. But they're not lowering them to do you a favor. Plarium isn't going to lower the price of stuff to do you a favor. The only way they'll lower the price is if you stop buying it. If you stop doing the fusions, if you stop buying the packs in the shop, that will be the only way anything gets lower. I guarantee it. They use analytics to figure out how much to sell it at. But guys, I'm all worn out. I know this has been a really ranty video, and I can't wait to see how many downvotes I get on it because I am sure that everyone is going to hate what I have to say because they don't want to hear the truth. They just want to hear the guys that are like, oh my God, Plarium's the worst thing ever. That's all they want to hear. But that's not reality. I'm a realist. I'm never going to be that guy. If Plarium does something wrong, I'm going to call them on it. But this is not something they did wrong. This is par for the course. This is something they've done a million times before, and they will probably do again. But I do want to thank you guys so much for watching all the way to the end. Of course, if you do like daily raid content, be sure to subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, and of course, as always, until next time, be good.